Welcome to Blood in the Snow Radio, where we give you the latest news and interviews with the best in Canadian genre cinema. Here are your hosts, Robert Bellamy and Festival Director Kelly Michael Stewart.
Bits Radio is back on the air. One of the hosts, Rob Bellamy, and Kelly is off being a festival director, bouncing around somewhere, but we are here to talk about the film In Between. It's two estranged sisters confront their unresolved, past in a limited space. Oh, wait. Liminal.
Yeah.
Liminal space.
Yeah.
We're going to have a question about that.
Yeah.
The liminal space where temperature reflects emotional turmoil. Seeking peace and closure. Sorry, I don't have my glasses. So it makes it difficult sometimes. But yes, I will get you to introduce yourself and your role in the project.
Yes. My name is Nic Altobelli. I co-wrote the script, I directed it, and I'm also in the film.
So you're busy, I'm noticing.
Yes.
Because we just did the interview for He.
Yeah.
And you mentioned The Foreigner.
Yeah.
3 projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 projects at Bits this year. I've been to Bits before with other projects, but just as a producer. So this is the first time that I've had something in the festival as a producer, as an actor, and then also as a director. And In Between is actually my first thing I've ever directed. So I didn't realize, I didn't realize how soon I would want or feel drawn to telling a story. As a filmmaker, I think I was pretty content and very passionate about supporting other people's stories and, their stories becoming my own in some way, and sharing in the creation of a project as a producer. But and I have a background in acting and writing, but I just didn't know that I would feel inclined to tell a story as a director until this one came to mind, and I was like, I feel inclined to do it, and so I did with a really small crew and a bunch of friends.
So I have to ask then, because in the past, that last interview, we had mentioned, where if a feature film comes around for the short, you would have more makeup instead of practical bags under your eyes.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Noticing how much you keep working?
No.
Okay.
You're calling me out. You just met me, and you're calling me out.
I'm just curious. Because, yes, busy is good, though, especially with this. The minute you slow down, you might not pick up again.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's, I think, I have ADHD, so shout out to all the neurodiverse people and neurodivergent people in the world. Sometimes I think, that's part of it, but also I think my ambitions and also my connections to people and things like that keep me going. So I think part of it is just I get really either hyper focused or I have my attention span goes a million different ways. But then at the same time, obviously burnout is very real, and you think that you can carry the weight of the world until you can't, and then you're like grape. Yeah, exactly. So you really need a good support system, especially when you're pushing yourself to the limit, and ultimately that's what a lot of filmmakers are doing, is the same as athletes or anything else where you're pushing your limits, trying to see what else you can learn, what else you can do, and sometimes you push yourself a little bit too far. Yeah,
I think you're helping yourself a little bit though, because it's so divergent. You said, you're writing this, you're directing that, you're acting in this, so you won't have burnout in an area. It'll just be total collapse.
Yeah.
So
that's my style. Yeah, I'm like a phoenix, or I don't know, a black hole. Yeah,
I like the visuals there. That's interesting. Yeah. So In Between.
Yeah.
This story is interesting too because it takes place in a small room. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And it was neat because I'm watching it, and at first I didn't get the temperature aspect of it. Right? It wasn't until about halfway through when it kicked in. It's like, I'm catching it now. What was the purpose behind the temperature being so critical?
So it's a liminal space, right? So in my mind, it's the idea of purgatory is what comes to my mind, but honestly, it's never explained in the film. When you watch it, you'll realize that's never explained, or it's never said that it's purgatory. So you can kind of fill in the gaps, like they've been kidnapped and they're stuck in this room,
That was my
they're,
thought.
yeah, they're in another dimension and they're stuck in this room. But either way, for me, not only is the temperature shifts reflective of their inner worlds, but also imagine being stuck in a room with no doors and no windows with somebody you haven't spoken to in years and don't ever want to see again. And, you're being pushed to your absolute limit physically and emotionally. Like, what would that manifest as? And so I think, what I wanted to explore was two sisters. I don't have a sister. I have like sisters in life, like people that I feel like are, like sisters in spirit, I guess you could say, but like I don't have any like blood related sisters. I have two brothers, but I was more curious about exploring a relationship between two femme people than like a brother and a sister or two brothers, because of the kind of behaviors that manifest and how women treat each other when they're being pushed like that. Because it's very similar to like two women falling in love. It's like, if you've ever seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire, it's a lot of looks and it's a lot of what's not being said. And I think with a sister and a brother and with two brothers as well, it manifests very differently, right? So I just really wanted to explore like two sisters and like what you could gather from what's not being said. Yeah.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Well, and you're right. Like when I first started watching it, I thought, okay, they've been kidnapped in there. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, when the first temperature started, I thought this was people pushing them, like physically pushing them.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't until halfway through I realized they're the ones pushing themselves
Mm-hmm.
because of the temperature ranges and stuff. I thought was a great reveal. Mm-hmm. I don't know if these were planned or not, and that's my next
yeah.
question. It was okay,
Yeah, mm-hmm.
because story-wise, that's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Especially visually filmmaking, because again, I'm of the mindset you don't want to spoon feed the audience.
Well, that's exactly what the whole point of this short was, and it's tough because you end up on like basically a cusp that either you have people that love that or you have people that are like, they didn't say enough in this short. I don't know what's going on. It's not good enough for whatever reason. It's like people are becoming more lazy, I think, because of how interconnected we are with all like social media and immediate gratification.
Oh, big time.
is a thing more so now than ever. So I think people are just getting used to that, and they're used to being spoon-fed things and used to being told how to feel and stuff, just like, or whatever. They can go on their phone and search anything up and have some sort of an answer in a second. But guess what? You can't chat the meaning of my film.
Yeah. Well, the skip button on YouTube was the downfall of humanity as far as I'm concerned, because it literally put a time limit on your attention span.
Yeah.
If you don't catch someone's attention in 5 seconds, that button's getting hit. So now that's the new bar.
Yeah.
Sadly. Mm-hmm. And so, I love this kind of film.
Thank you.
And sadly, it was the whole thing that pulled me out of it for the longest time, because I was watching YouTube shorts and went to watch a movie for the first time after a couple months, and I couldn't because I was used to these 10-minute things.
Yeah.
So
it's not even anyone's fault. It's just like the way that media is being delivered right now. Exactly. And like our human brains can only handle so much. So, like it's our brains are super powerful, but also built on patterns. And the biggest pattern that you can see in your life is the one that's going to be like the easiest, cerebral track or whatever to follow. So you're just like, you're going to fall into that probably more so than like trying to forge something new. So it's not even like anyone's fault. It's just like the way that we're consuming things these days. It's like the way making it hard to, then go back to something and be like, I need to come up with my own meaning for this. What do you mean? Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So was there any challenges in filming? Because that's a small location too.
Yes. Yeah.
It
was, thankfully our team was quite small. Like we kept it really small, knowing that we would have like space restrictions. But like we were still like stepping on each other and trying to like squeeze past each other and stuff in the space. And then, because it's a room with no doors or windows, we had to find creative ways to create that facade, and create that visual. So I actually had to build and I had a couple people help me from a flat. Like we used flats like that you use in a studio in my aunt's living room, because that's where we shot it. It was like in her living room, and then we used flats to cover 2 of the doorways that are in that room, so that they look like walls. So you actually can't tell, like when you look around the room, that there are actually 2 like archways that are just covered by studio flats.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and that's actually how we built in the tap as well, because there's the water, the tap of water that in the corner. Yeah.
And so your aunt had no problem with you turning water on all of a sudden on her floor.
Yep, she loved that. Yeah, she was watching the monitor when that happened, and she was like covering her mouth so she wouldn't scream. Like,
she definitely does not want to ruin that shot.
No, and we only had one take at it, because I said, like, we can only get this floor wet once, because then we need to like make sure we, mop everything up properly so it's not gonna like rot her floor or whatever. We only wanted to do it once out of respect for her home, and yeah, thankfully it worked. But it was definitely, she was watching the shot and she was just like, oh my god. Yeah.
Is it bad? I would love to have watched the face.
Yeah, actually though, we should have had some BTS person like
Yep.
on her face for that. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So, is there any plans to go further with this idea?
Not currently. I think for me, anyways, this method of exploring this story through a short film was very cathartic and felt like enough for me, because really it was an exploration of, yes, like 2 sisters and like how it feels to be in relation to another woman, as a woman or as someone who's femme, with somebody else in that identity and that existence in the world. But also it was an exploration of familial relationships. And over the past several years, I've been doing a lot of like self-discovery and been pretty, committed to a regular therapy practice and things like that. And I have realized that like a lot of my familial relationships are ones that I want to keep putting more energy into, to like grow together and learn how to understand each other better. And it just means peeling back the layers, which means you're probably going to see something that you don't like about somebody else, but you're going to have to accept it and love them anyways if you want to keep a relationship with them. And then on the other side of things, sometimes there's family and people in your life maybe that you call family that you don't want to do that with. It actually is servicing both of you better to actually take space. So same thing, like the ending is ambiguous because I didn't want to spoon feed the audience of like, oh, the sisters were upset with each other and therefore they never saw each other again. Like, it's a very ambiguous ending. It's very metaphorical. Like I wanted people to see that there's hope, but not have an answer. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Because
Yeah.
film is art.
Yeah.
And it's always subjective.
Yeah.
So once it leaves your hands, it's now in the public's domain. So what they make of it is essentially what it is to them. Mm-hmm. So I love those kind of films.
Thank
where you get to the end and you craft your ending. Mm-hmm. Because then you can make it a happy ending or a sad ending or
a hopeful or a and I also art imitates life and vice versa. And this wasn't necessarily intended. I try to absorb art in all mediums. So like painting, sculptures, history, human history, and like art in all of history, clothing, fashion, etc. Like, but I guess I don't really realize how much of it I absorb and like it transmutes and becomes part of like my art. But several people said that they saw like famous paintings in my film. So Christie's World is one of them, or Christina's World. If you look up that painting, there is a shot in the film that is composed essentially exactly like Christina's World.
Oh, no way.
And so one of my friends pointed that out when they watched it, and they were like, whoa, like, did you plan this, the composition of the shot and even the colors to like be like Christina's World? And I was like, no. But then when I saw the painting, I was like, I've definitely seen this somewhere before. It's been living in my like subconscious, I guess. And so when I was composing the shot, maybe some piece of that was like inspired in me, but I didn't realize. And same thing with, if you've seen the play Waiting for Godot, it's 2 men waiting for God, essentially, by a rotten tree. And that's it. That's the whole play. Like, it's a 2-hander. There's a rotten tree in it, and the decaying tree. And yeah, they're waiting for God. So they're also kind of in a liminal space. And that's the whole play. And so same thing, like a friend watched the film and they were like, this is like if Waiting for Godot was like 2 sisters And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. It's really cool to.
So now we know the answer is yes. This was my homage.
Yeah, in a way. In a way, I didn't really
subliminal.
think of it that way, but it was very subliminal. And I guess like, yeah, art of all mediums has impacted me my entire life and has, you know, helped me form ideas, helped me form like my view of the world. And I guess like now I get to infuse that into my art that I'm creating and my POV, you know, which is cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on this project and being in 3 projects at Blood in the Snow this year. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, can't wait to see what comes up in the future.
Thank you so much.
Join us next time for Blood in the Snow Radio. Bits Radio is a production of 3 Evil Cats Productions in association with the Blood in the Snow Canadian Film Festival. For more information and to listen to other episodes, visit bloodinthesnow.ca and tweet us at BitsFilmFest. Music by Jen Gorman, produced and edited by Kelly Michael Stewart. I am Eduardo Correa Lima.